Okay.
So,
Start or Sarah asking me a question first?
so Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah. So your name, where you
Hi,
live.
I'm Jacob. I live in West Seattle. Been here since 1989. I remember watching the 1999 Women's World Cup. Watching the penalty kicks, Brandy Chastain. I think we all saw that. And then with just growing up and following other sports, just went into the back burner. When it really started becoming a thing for me of like watching, understanding, getting to know the rules of the game, everything came in the 2006 World Cup in Germany with the men's game. I just remember being able to watch all, not all, but a good chunk of the group stage games, watching how fun the crowds were. And I think that was the selling point for me. Like, wow, the crowd it's a party. And then surely with the increase, the boom of the internet, more access to more soccer clips here and there. And I just going back to the 2006 World Cup, I just remember watching, like I said, the group stage games, but then also going to watch the final game with my dad and a friend of his at his place. They weren't big soccer fans, but they just had it on. We were just watching it. And of course, we all remember Zidane's headbutt on Marco Materazzi. I thought that was one of the greatest things in sports ever. And I love the fact that Zidane will never apologize to Materazzi about it, as he shouldn't. But it was walking away from that I realized, okay, this is kind of creeping into my fandom of sorts, where amongst all my other interests, this is slowly getting some real estate. And then just watching little random clips here and there on the internet. I hadn't picked up an English team, just like the common thing is for anybody growing up becoming a soccer fan here in the U.S. That didn't come until later, but it wasn't really until I went to the inaugural Sounders game in 2009 where it all hit me. It's like, okay, I'm here. I want to experience what it's like, but then it all makes sense to me. Like the party atmosphere. I wasn't in ECS at that time, but just watching it from where I was like, okay, this is cool, this is fun. And of course, the game itself on the field was a lot of fun to see. And the following year, I was luckily got season tickets. I was in the Brahms end. And then the biggest thing for me since then is just been able, the social aspect. Making a bunch of friends that I know, the relationships I've formed because of it. There are some people here right now behind the camera that I can attest to that I've become friends with them. And just we get to know each other on Twitter and all that stuff, and we get to share in the memories that happens on the field, but also the pregame stuff. We decide, hey, let's get together before or afterwards and just talk, get to know each other, joke, and find other common interests. One thing that's growing, become really popular as of late is a shared mutual interest in pro wrestling. Everybody looks at me as a crazy person, thinking my intent to blur as many wrestling and soccer references, but it's happening. There are some people here that can attest to that. And again, it's just the social aspect, just getting to know more people. It's proven to be a fantastic icebreaker for me, because just growing up as somebody of a result of divorced parents, being the only child, it's not it wasn't really easy for me to come out of my shell, get to talk to people and say, hi, I'm Jacob so and so. But then just this interest of going to soccer games, we celebrate a goal, you just turn around, high five a stranger, and just get to chat for a little bit here and there. That's for me the biggest takeaway. I can honestly say I'm more social. I get to know more people, and it's a nice bridge for me. Like everybody, my parents know, my family members, my friends who aren't into soccer know that this is my thing, and what they take away from it is the fact that I am more, willing to talk to people, and they like that. So I mean, the Sounders, you know, my story is not necessarily unique to so many others. It's the same thing. We all went to the inaugural game in 2009. Had a blast and never looked back. Through that, I've done a couple trips down to Vancouver, Portland, for Cascadia. Those have been a lot of fun. But also, I've been able to take my other interest, which is writing, and turn it into just this little blog that I do. That's now become more or less more my focus is on covering the Seattle Reign, and that's been a lot of fun. Just doing whatever I can to help grow the attention for people to come check out the team, because we have world-class, once-in-a-generation talent on the field. I mean, Megan Rapinoe, Hope Solo, those are, everybody knows those names. But then we're now witnessing the awe and splendor that is Jess Fishlock, Kim Little, Keelan Winters, Kendall Fletcher, so on and so forth. And then, just being fortunate enough to cover the team since the first year, get to know some of the players on the field, off the field, and that's been really a lot of fun. But yeah, again, it just goes back to just the social aspect. Like, I've been able to form a lot of friendships and partnerships with some really fantastic people. We all like soccer, but then getting to know them beyond that, like what other stuff that they like, that's what I'm really proud of. And just I always like to tell people, it's fun getting to know you. I mean, I think one great highlight for me this year was with the Women's World Cup. I hadn't planned on going there because just tickets were just expensive and everything. But come the semifinal round, when it was pretty much getting written into stone that the United States was beating Germany and they were going to the final, I got that itch. Like, I think I kind of want to go see if I can pull it off. And just by sheer luck of just somebody referring to someone on Twitter that was selling a couple tickets, 2 days later, lo and behold, my friend Jessica and I are doing a cannonball run up to Vancouver the day of the World Cup final. And, we were just on the drive up, we were just talking about how exciting, how nervous it's going to be, because we were thinking it was going to be like a tight game. And then, when we get there, within 10 minutes, it's all said and done. And it was just a game for the ages. And then, it was just so much fun being up there. And I was just thinking, could there have been anything else in my life that I would have been interested enough in to do a spur of the moment this way? Probably not. I mean, if I'd grown up into becoming, staying true, being a basketball fan or another sports fan of another kind, yeah, I could probably see some sort of, spur of the moment type thing. But, in those other sports, they don't necessarily have World Cup. Soccer does. And I just think, wow, that, we really did do a day run up to Vancouver for the World Cup final, and I was there, and I got to witness the United States winning the World Cup, and that was pretty cool. And that's definitely one of my highlights for the year. And then just also other stuff, just various day trips down to Portland whenever the Rain and Thorns are playing. That's always fun. I mean, I know we're supposed to hate all Portland soccer people by default, but it's like, for me, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but like, I have some friends down there. They're nice, good people, and they don't brag to me about, I mean, I'm sure they will when, the time comes, but at the end of the day, we're all still just lovers of the game. And again, who would have thought I'd be making so many friends here in Seattle, but also friends down in Portland, making friends that live over in England and France and so forth. Yeah, it's just, it's been a fantastic social bridge for me, and that's what I love about it. Do you need me, can you hear me fine?
Don't mess up, Jacob.
Thank you, Jerry.
No stress.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks for putting me on the spot.